Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week, I've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up, Pasta Pals?
Hey, dude. How's it going, everybody? How's life indoors?
Pretty solid.
It's spooky.
You got ghosts or something?
I don't know. I feel like I am a ghost. I'm just like wafting around.
Yeah, just floating through the halls.
Yeah.
I mean, you had like bats when you first moved in, right?
I had bats?
Didn't you find a bat? Bats.
Oh, bats.
You have a bath.
Like a baseball
right?
bat?
As well?
Yeah, I haven't heard from the bats in a while, so I assume that means they're dead in my walls.
Nice.
Because I don't think they can get out. So I think they're dead.
I mean, they got
now
in.
They're ghosts.
They got in, right?
Well, they got in, and then we sealed them in. We
Oh.
sealed the entrance.
It seems like a weird.
Oh.
I mean, you don't want more in, but
Sorry,
then it's
guys.
just
Yeah.
like you got an unknown amount of bats somewhere in your walls.
In like 5 years, a wall's just going to collapse and hundreds of bats are going to come pouring out.
If you have hundreds of bats in your walls, I hope you hear them. I
Yeah.
hope that's something you're like, we need to investigate that.
No, now it's just bat ghosts.
That's scary. It's scarier than real
That's
bats.
worse, yeah.
Yeah,
They're just
Arguably
like regular
worse.
bats, except they go through walls.
they don't. You can seal any hole you want. They don't care. They're ethereal. Is that what it is when you're gonna
That's a word.
go through?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a word. I know that part.
Hey, if it's a word, it's good enough for me.
Okay, good. Sweet. You know what else is good enough for you, Joe? First and last, this podcast. What is it?
We take a TV show and watch only the first episode and only the last episode, nothing in between, and we rate it from 1 to 10.
5 stars. Like and subscribe.
New thing we're doing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short episode. We're just gonna watch both episodes, then go do quick 1 through 10, and we're done.
We'll just go. Finished episode 1. I'll give it a 7. Let's move on to the last episode.
Yeah,
That's not.
could have been better, but it was pretty good. I give it an 8.
So
That's
so
not
before
at
we get
all
into the show Jimmy picked, I need to talk about Supernatural and the show that's coming on after Supernatural. Number 1, Supernatural is not happening yet because COVID is ruining production, so it's halted at the moment. So maybe the show will never end, and I will technically get my wish, and it'll go forever. But also, one of the main guys in the show has announced his new show coming in 2021, and it is called Walker, as I believe in, like the Texas Ranger.
No way.
I think they're redoing Walker Texas Ranger, but with Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
Huh.
And he's like 6'5". So it's I don't feel like he's way taller than Chuck Norris was.
Monster Walker.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't know. He's like a super fit dude. He's just on like, it'll be interesting. I'm going to obviously watch it. So, but before that happens, we actually probably do need to do Walker Texas Ranger. Is also.
Oh, okay. Yeah. True.
So at some point we should think about doing that.
Just bite
Season
the bullet
6.
on that one, on that
Season
8-hour
6.
long.
Yeah. The season of Walker Texas Ranger here on First and Last.
It's just a large talker, large Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah. I mean, it just I can't prove it. I'm not 100% sure, but he's wearing like a cowboy hat. It's called Walker. Like, what else is it? You know? What else could it possibly be? So, I'm just
Time
excited.
will tell.
I'm excited that I can watch my Supernatural boy and something else at least once that show's finally over.
What about the other dude? It's like
I
2
don't
main
know.
characters, right?
Yeah. The other guy, Jensen Ackles is his name. I don't know what his plans are at the moment, but hopefully he's in. Hopefully he's just maybe
Just
he's
Walker's brother.
What was that guy in the original Walker's name? Was he a deputy? Cordero, I think his name was.
Yeah, his like partner.
Yeah, his like sidekick partner guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just be Cordero.
I'm reading through some of the cast list now of Walker, and like the characters that are listed as like Mickey, Walker's female partner, Liam Walker, Walker's younger gay brother.
Ooh.
What? Like this
Hitting
is
the hard topics.
like on IMDb. That's what they're called. Or where are you?
This is Wikipedia.
Wow.
Okay.
Walker's father, Walker's mother, and Captain Larry James.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's we're definitely not going to do that show for a very long time, unless it fails horribly once it gets to the CW in 2021. But for today, we're doing a different show, and Jimmy, you picked it. What is it?
I did. Okay.
Are you having reservations?
Not even a little bit, actually, but just where I went from. I started I've been wanting to do a longer show for a while, but I just can't bring myself to make us sit down and watch hours and hours of television right now. There's just something about already being inside 24/7 that I just don't really need more Netflix than necessary. So did a hard pivot and went to the Bernie Mac show.
Okay.
All right.
Ever
That
seen
is
that?
Bernie Mac's. Well, let's just get out of the way. Bernie Mac's dead, right?
Let's
That's,
pour a little
that's
out.
what I'm Googling right now.
Pour a little out. Allegedly. Allegedly.
He's like Bernie Mac's Tupac level. Is that what you're getting at?
You a Bernie Mac truther?
Yeah, a man can dream.
Bernard Jeffrey McCullough died
Because
August 9th, 2008.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
wow, he's been gone for a while. I didn't realize that. That's crazy. I just remember because I didn't really know who Bernie Mac was except for when he was in Ocean's 11, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the dealer.
I want to say he's also is a cameo in not a cameo, but I think he's in one of the Charlie's Angels movies or something. I have to look that up.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't seem
I think he
familiar.
is too. He might be. He's
Isn't
not
he
Charlie.
the guy? Yeah, not Charlie,
He's
but
he's the go-between guy. I don't know what his name is.
Probably
Weirdly
just
enough, I don't
Bernie
have
Mac.
enough. I don't have enough knowledge on the Charlie's Angels movies to know who that person would be. Squidward, maybe. Is that?
that's that's it.
He's
Yeah,
actually
that's
just
the
playing
one.
himself. This actor Bernie Mac is the go-between between Charlie and the Angels.
Actor?
Really?
Bernie Mac.
I don't
Actually?
know.
No, there's no way. When was this show on? What happened? What do we got?
It was on from 2001 to 2006 on Fox. I assume. So I was thinking that when I think of this show, I thought it was on and then it just didn't continue because he died. But if he didn't die till 2008, then it must have actually had an end.
Yeah, I mean that's a long time. It's a long time for a sitcom. It was probably enough. It's probably a good enough run for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean over 100 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Quick side, I haven't seen Bernie Mac's list in this Charlie's Angels IMDb yet, but Tom Green was in the original Charlie's Angels movie with Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu.
I love that you call that the original.
Well, no, the original one with them in it.
Right.
Not the original Charlie's Angels, obviously. It was the one that we watched in 2000, though, when we were young lads.
Yeah.
So yeah, went 5 seasons. Bernie Mac did, not Charlie's Angels. 5 seasons, 104 episodes. I mean,
It's pretty good.
just looking at the
Syndicated.
picture, just looking only at the picture on the Wikipedia, it looks like Bernie Mac is a single dad of 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm gonna go with. That's what happens. He probably has one white friend who acts a fool around the majority of the probably black cast,
As we tend to do.
And who else is in this show?
Was this on like at the same time as like Malcolm in the Middle? That's the kind of the vibe that I remember feeling from this show. Is kind of the Malcolm of the Middle era Cosby show that would now be Blackish.
I mean, Malcolm in the Middle was on 2000 to 2006, so it was...
So almost exactly.
It was, yeah, Malcolm in the Middle was not even like a year. Yeah, but about a year. Well, almost 2 years, because Malcolm in the Middle started in January of 2000, and Bernie Mac show started in November of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So
January, that's odd.
Yeah, that might be an apt comparison to Blackish or the Cosby Show, where it's like with both of those shows, it's a comedian, and the comedy in the show is based around a lot of their like true to life stories from their stand-up comedy. Like, do you think the Bernie Mac show is kind of the same way? Do you think he plays a version of himself?
yeah, he probably plays Bernie Taylor like all the other
Oh yeah, Home Improvement's another one. Yeah,
Andy, like the Andy Griffith show. Isn't he Andy Taylor?
Andy
Or
Taylor.
like that
Yeah,
too?
so he's Bernie Taylor.
Yeah, Bernie quote Mac Taylor. Like
Yeah.
Mac is in quotations,
And
in
he's
that
like
name.
a plumber or something, like something that's not just like stand-up comic.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right. He can't be a stand-up comic in this show.
Yeah, I guess they did that in Seinfeld.
Yeah, well, and that's why, I mean, that's another good reason why they also can't do it in this show. You're just gonna like be like, yeah, I'm the Black Seinfeld. Like,
Yeah.
Why not?
because if anyone's gonna be the Black Seinfeld, it's got to be like, I don't know, Chris Rock or Hannibal Buress or something. Like, I don't know. Was Bernie Mac like really, really big back in the 2000s? Maybe I was just too young to know that people really, really, really liked him.
I remember him as being part of the original Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it was like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hewley, and Bernie Mac. I didn't memorize that. I'm reading it from the Wikipedia. But I do recall that they had a tour and like some specials, and it was like the four of them like bouncing stand up off each other.
Okay.
Plus, who doesn't remember Bernie Mac as Uncle Bernie in Moesha?
Me. I don't remember that. I remember the show Moesha. I mowed to the. I eat to the.
But yeah, he was a famous comic by this point for sure.
Okay.
Like in the 90s.
That's good. All right, I got it. Single dad. I'm not reading this. It's gonna sound like I'm reading this now. Single dad Bernie Mac gets home from his long day at work, where he works as he works in a like Best Buy type store.
Okay. Like, is he
and-
just like a guy there, or is he like a manager?
I think he is on the way to becoming a manager, but he's not quite there. Maybe he's like a shift supervisor.
Mr.
Okay.
Manager.
You know, he's not quite manager yet, but shift supervisor. Sick of the shit, you know, that kind of thing.
Sick of the shift.
And the first episode is him trying to juggle his children as a single dad, but also is about to go on a first date with a nice lady.
Oh.
And so he's got some of his friends over at his house, and they're like, treat yourself, go on a date, everything's going to be great. Also, we're wacky friends. And then he maybe goes on the date, maybe doesn't. But I think the first episode it revolves around him trying to go on a first date for the first time in a long time as a single father.
Nice. I like that.
I think Bernie's a chef.
I'm into it.
I think
I'm into
that's his
it.
occupation. He's a chef at like the restaurant in like a fancy hotel.
Okay.
And it's a fancy hotel so that they can lead to him becoming eventually the manager of the entire hotel by the end of the series. That's the seed that they're planting.
One day, I'm going to be
Yeah.
king of hospitality.
But I think the show revolves around more of his kid stuff, and that like his oldest son is in a play or something and needs help remembering his lines.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
I,
You got it.
I also feel like this show probably revolves a lot more around his kids than like you'd assume a show named after him. Mostly because I'm just thinking of like Malcolm in the Middle and like the Cosby Show. You got a lot of kids stuff. Maybe he's a therapist. Isn't that what Dr. Huxtable is?
I thought he was like a surgeon or something.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
Why do I think he was a dentist?
Just a doctor. Or maybe, I don't know why when you said chef, I just pictured like a line chef at like a line cook at like a Subway or something. Like just
Bernie Mac in the Bernie Mac Show is a sandwich artist working
brought
at
to you
Subway.
by Subway. So that's what I'm going with. And then yeah, I think he's like maybe we have some sibling rivalry and he's got to get in there and break them up and teach him some sort of moral lesson that we all learn. And we laugh and we cry.
What if these kids on this cover aren't his kids and they're like his sister dies and he has to take care of these kids as a single dude?
Oh.
What about that, huh?
Ooh.
Oh, Full House action?
I have two guesses on what this show is.
Man.
All right. That's some wacky stuff will ensue. That's one full season of him having no idea what to do, you know? At the very least.
Just bouncing around between different big box stores and Subways and ends up being a chef at a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the whole series.
Dr. Huxtable is an OBGYN.
Oh, that's
God.
right.
That is
How could you forget
really
that?
that is really messed up based on the knowledge we have in 2020.
Oh boy, yeah.
Well, with that, should we watch the first episode of the Bernie Mac Show?
Yep. Entitled Pilot.
Good.
Josh's
Great.
favorite.
We're gonna love this show. All right, we will see you guys after that. And we're back. We are done with the first episode of the Bernie Mac Show entitled Pilot. I thought it was for a second called Mr. Bernie Mac, but then I realized that the show was just like giving like title sequences for like different parts of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I was like right away I was like, oh sweet, there is this title. They just are dumb about it on Wikipedia, IMDb, and then I was like, nope. It's just called Pilot.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird like text throughout because there were the different segments of the actual episode and then Bernie's like narrations, which he's already narrating, but then he has little side text things and arrows pointing. It's interesting.
The show was very multifaceted when it came to how it presented itself. I was at the end. I was like, is this like a reality show? Like Parks and Rec is obviously like somebody's filming them more so than like a TV show is being filmed. Like it's like The Office, like someone's filming them, but why is someone filming Bernie Mac? Like, or why is he documenting and recording and telling other people to turn off the camera?
Yeah.
Like he did. Like, why is this being documented?
Yeah, so it's it's shot like your basic single cam sitcom. Like it felt a little bit like Malcolm in the Middle. But then it has this in-between structure of Bernie Mac doing like talking head type interviews to the camera,
Right.
which it opens the show with, and I think closes the show with too. But like you said, like there are parts of the show that intersperse between like the regular plot of the show and him doing like the talking head interview. Like there's one part where like one of the kids comes in while he's doing this interview and interrupts it. And then he like runs after the kid and says like, turn the camera off.
Yeah.
Which
implies there's people in his house actually filming this. Then.
Yeah. It's a little bit surreal in that like it's not really presented like a documentary, but it is a TV show. And it like interweaves between like him breaking the fourth wall to talk to the viewer and the show itself.
Yeah, right, because he doesn't only have his like sections where he stops and talks in his room about like the events that are happening. Like I'm gonna tell you what's about to unfold, and this is obviously me presenting it to you, the listener. But then while he's in conversation with some people, he'll just turn to the camera, like the scene pauses, and he's like, "Did you hear what they just told me?" And it's like, "Wait a minute, now we do this too?"
Yeah, he's got like Zach Morris powers too. And then on top of that, there's like telestrator text written on top of the show to like point things out. Like a lot of the stuff in the beginning of the show was just like naming characters, like this is Bernie's wife, and it would like say Bernie's wife and then have like an arrow pointing over to her. But other times there'd just be like random snark that the text would do.
Yeah, just jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, since maybe I didn't find that the entirety of this show was funny. Like I didn't really find much of this to be funny. When it was putting in that text on the thing, like pointing towards like she's laughing inside about what's happening. I was like, well, that's not funny either. And I feel like you're just doing this to try to make it this not funny part funny, but that's not funny either. So it didn't work for me. The text almost made me be like, you're trying too hard now.
There's definitely a lot of stuff. Like it could have just been a like there's already a lot of like family sitcoms like this. But the addition of the like Bernie Mac just talking to the camera and the text and him having Zach Morris powers. Like I wonder if they tone that back as they go through the show. Like, okay, we like Bernie talking to the camera, but we're gonna skip the text stuff.
I feel like the text stuff is easy to drop, but like I mean that whole like format of the show of him like introducing and talking about it, and then the show starting and them actually acting and walking around and talking to each other, and then cutting in when he's having the sit down like conversation with the camera. I feel like it'd be really weird for them to get rid of that. I mean, only if they just got rid of it right after this pilot. You know, they're like the show, like whatever, don't do this part anymore. I feel like it'd be a weird thing to get rid of like season 2 or something like that.
Yeah. It just feels like a little bit too much going on. Like a few writers had a lot of different ideas and they're like, well, we'll just put them all in the pilot and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've ever thought about it really in the terms of like just a regular like kind of family sitcom, that I don't understand the rules of this world. Like it's just a family sitcom and I'm like, I don't even know what the rules of this world are.
Yeah. There ain't no rules. It's Bernie's rules.
That's like high fantasy stuff where you got to be like, I don't know what J.R.R. Tolkien was talking about, but you got to be like, how does the world of Bernie Mac work?
Yeah, is his narration parallel to what we're seeing, or is he narrating after the fact? That's a little bit confusing.
Well, some of it is, obviously. Like, he caught up, by the end of the show, his narration caught up to the actual end of the show. Like, they were in the same spot at the end. He was in the future for some of it, telling us what we're about to see.
Yeah.
And then it caught up. It was, interesting.
It's definitely been said that, you know, Bernie Mac is the J.R.R. Tolkien of our time. The one, the one joke that I remember from the like weird teleprompter drawing, it's like football, drawing the circles and stuff on people, was like they stopped at a Randy's Donuts, and then he's talking about, he just keeps calling them big ass donuts, but then there's just arrows pointing all over and it says big ass crumbs that he's just getting, like that's the joke, that he's just getting crumbs all over the car.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I mean, okay, so what's the basic? I don't think we need to like read a thing on it because I think we can like say the basic plot of this episode
Okay.
pretty fast.
Sister is in trouble, maybe going to rehab.
Bernie's
She's
sister.
doing drugs. Bernie's sister.
Mhm.
And now he's gonna take on the kids rather than let them go into foster care.
Mhm.
And then he doesn't really know what he signed up for.
And then it's about 18 minutes of him being kind of abusive towards kids.
Yeah, yeah, pretty scary in 2019 to see how he's.
Yeah, so Bernie plays himself. He's the actor comedian Bernie Mac.
Yep.
Yeah.
And his wife Wanda is a VP for AT&T, and I feel like they're trying to make that like be funny for some reason. And I was like, is working for AT&T funny for some reason? What?
Well,
AT&T
when she
don't
drove
play.
she was like ragging on AT&T and saying that she works there, and then when she drove off in her car, her license plate said VP AT&T.
Yeah.
So I think the joke is that she's like a high up at AT&T that knows it's a shitty company.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. She's like, she kept bringing it up that she worked for AT&T, like to the kids and everything. I was like, why do you keep talking about? I was like, you're trying to make this be a joke, I think.
She's a
But
big
it's
deal.
not land. I don't get it. Yeah, there was a lot of hitting jokes, a lot of hitting kids jokes.
Yeah, at first I thought like, okay, this is gonna be kind of a family show-ish. And then Bernie Mac, it just opens up that with him sitting in a chair, smoking a cigar, and saying how he's gonna kill a child. It's like, okay, so this
Here's
is just
how I got
this
away
is-
with murder.
Yeah, so this is just a dad show then? Like what? Okay,
Let me tell you about my greatest regret in life.
Yeah, I think at one point he told the oldest girl that he was going to hit her in the head till he saw the white meat. Which is that the brain?
yeah, is that the skull? What?
Yeah, just the gray matter of her brain comes out.
Yikes! Yeah, that's when the social worker came over.
Yeah. It's interesting because maybe, and I think a good parallel is Malcolm in the Middle, because it was that like kind of like Malcolm in the Middle's parents were like technically pretty awful, you know,
Right.
to their kids in a way as well. And maybe, and they obviously did jokes about like maybe hitting their kids or doing something weird, but I think they like stuck in some pretty good like showing that they care a lot about them, even though they're like super messed up.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe in this episode right now, it's just that like Bernie's trying to do the right thing, but like in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think he's gonna get there. I don't want to get too much into the predictions already, but
Yeah. It's it's a lot of, so there's 3 kids. I don't think we talked about the structure of that, but the oldest one is a daughter who's maybe about 13 or so.
I think he says 13. Yep, Vanessa.
And then the middle one, Jordan, is a boy, and he's maybe, I don't know, 10, 8, somewhere around there.
Yeah, let's say 10.
And then the youngest is a daughter, and she's not a baby, like she can talk and stuff. So maybe she's like 4. She's like a little kid.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea how old kids are. When you see kids, you have to tell me how old you are, or else I don't know.
And and it mostly circulates around the kids just like messing up his like no kid having life, where they're just like touching shit in his house and interrupting his poker game.
Well, what do you think's gonna happen if you bring like 3 kids into your house and the very first thing you do is say, "Don't do anything, touch nothing, I'll kill you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're gonna mess with everything. That's what kids are gonna do.
It was a kind of it had a like that modern like late 90s feel of like the Neighbors, like the Julia Louis-Dreyfus and in Christmas Vacation. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like snooty like people like don't touch my things.
Yeah.
Right. Could have like locked a door.
I generally like the I think the Bernie Mac stuff is funny. Like his jokes. Like I was lolling for a lot of his like sit down interview stuff. I think the weakest part of the show is the kids. And like granted, kids are hard because kids in general are just annoying. So like you're gonna have some kid actors in a show, it's gonna be annoying.
And they definitely put they for Jordan at least they cranked his annoying level up to like 11.
So hard.
They were just like, you're gonna hate this kid. We have to make you hate this kid.
Jordan's this kid who like has asthma, but also like pees himself. Pre-asthma.
Yeah.
So he's like coughing and like peeing and
coughing and peeing.
And just screaming.
And screaming, and you're just like, oh my god. So it's like that kind of stuff that it's like, all right, we're gonna have kids on the show. It's gonna be annoying, and then you're gonna give them like this like pissing, screaming plot line.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know that I can blame like the kid actor on that. It's just like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, and I think they're trying to do a thing of like, you know, these kids have not been raised right, and like they have some stuff from that. So
yeah, there's some trauma from that.
They've got some, you know, which is real life.
Yeah, but it's
too
like
real.
It's not handled in a real way. It's handled in a way of like he's pissing in my living room, or like peeing at the Walgreens or whatever.
Like he was like taking his pants off in the middle of like of the aisle, and you know what? It's like every single one of those scenarios is 100% happened like in real life with a kid, obviously. But it's just like, oh boy, I can't handle this kid. Also, I don't know why I took this one thing. When he was talking to the social worker, he was like, "Oh, and you smoke, sir?" You know, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cigars. I have one every night." You smoke one cigar every single night? You're dead. You should be dead.
That sounds about right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like only in the den, and then like that kid starts coughing in the background.
Yeah. Which is but I was just like, oh my god. My first thought is like that room must smell terrible, and also Bernie Mac, you must smell terrible because if you smoke one cigar every month, it's like when you're at work and you get in the elevator and then someone like rushes in and they get in too, and you're like, you definitely smoked like 3 cigarettes outside.
I could smoke a cigar right now.
Yeah, but do you want to smoke one every single night, Jimmy?
No, I don't.
Yeah, just like in a room in your house.
Oof.
Just that indoor cigar session.
Yeah, you know.
Quick indoor sesh for cigars. Joe, it sounds like you liked this more than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I like is the Bernie Mac of it. Like just like his jokes and his delivery, but all the sitcom stuff, like especially with the kids, like just is like it's a little half baked, or like you can kind of see how things are maybe done better in other like family sitcoms. Like it kind of feels like I don't know if it was the execs at Fox or whatever, somebody thought, hey, we've got something here with Bernie Mac, let's make a show with him. Oh, but we also have to make it like marketable to like, I don't know, a broader audience, like white people. So like, how do we how do we make it okay for white people? Oh, what if it's just like a family show because like the Cosby Show worked? So let's make it, you know, a family sitcom, and like that piece of it like doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like every like 40-year-old 90s dad was probably like, yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, you know, no matter race, color, or creed, I feel like they were all like, yes, I hate my family too.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And like I'm not too familiar with Bernie Mac's comedy, especially around this time. Like maybe his stand-up does kind of have a lot to do with his kids and stuff, and that's what he was going towards. But I don't know, maybe if it was just like the dial was turned a touch more towards Bernie and less towards the kids. I don't know. I try to think of like there's other shows where the kids are less annoying. Like even like we've talked about Blackish. or even like American Family. Not American Family. I always call it that. Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Yeah. And I feel like what they do on those shows is they make the kids like kind of precocious and wiser than their age. And that's kind of an easy way to not make them annoying, is like you make them not like kids anymore.
Yeah, when the kids talk like adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're way smarter than they should be.
Yeah. That's
but it works. It's there was one
It's
show
Malcolm
that we
in the
watched.
Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that too.
yeah. There was one show that we watched. I can't remember, but they did that, and in that show it didn't work. It was like weird how smart the kids were. Like these kids are too smart.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I think it was
recall.
not even. I don't even think it was all of them. I think there was like one little kid, and I was like, this little kid clearly can't be this smart.
Family Guy. Stewie from Family Guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's probably it. I mean, I feel like this feels like a pilot more so than a lot of other shows that we've seen, where I could see them saying we could pick this show up, but we need to make some changes before.
Yeah.
Like
It's
episode 2.
underdeveloped. And I was thinking the same thing that Joe was saying about, like, I don't think I know enough about Bernie Mac's brand of comedy to understand what some of this show is trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But loved it. A+.
As it stands right now, I would not be excited to turn on episode 2.
Sure.
I'd be curious to turn it on to just see if any changes were made to the format. But we'll find that out in the final episode. But before we do that, who wants to do their predictions?
I can do some predicts. I predict that this is 5 seasons, we say?
I think so.
5 seasons? That
5 seasons.
Okay. That this is the last day of school. I also am assuming that this is canceled, right? I don't assume this is like a legitimate series finale, but who's to say?
I mean, if I'm looking, the very first like 4 words in the write-up, I just scroll down to it. It just says in the series finale. So
Okay, well, even better.
you already wrote down your stuff. You can't
I wrote
change
it down. I'm sticking with it. Okay, so I think it's the kids' last day of school. So whatever that brings, I think Bernie has fallen in love like with the kids, and I think like we still see some of his tough love and violence probably, but that it's much more like tender moments. And then I think what?
Oh, I was just thinking. I was like, maybe like the violence towards the children didn't work very well with me in this show when it did in something like Malcolm in the Middle, is because they were a cohesive family unit in Malcolm in the Middle, and we're like
sure,
obviously like we're a loving family. Whereas in this one, they were new to the household, so it was like ease them in before you threaten them. You know, like that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
As long as I know the kids know that it's a joke, then it's fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like one of the jokes in that opening monologue where he was like talking about beating these kids. And he was like, you're going to say I'm going to beat my own kids? Well, like, don't, because they're not my kids.
Okay, so then I think that I was thinking, especially at the beginning of this pilot, that Wanda, right, his wife?
Yeah.
Like it was a very disjointed thing. Like it was very much like Bernie Mac and the kids, and she's just kind of there. And so I was thinking like he falls in love, but she doesn't really ever get behind it fully, and that is a wedge, and that they get divorced. So that's my number 3.
Trouble on Bernie Island.
He chooses the kids over his wife. And then number 4, I think we see equal to or greater than 5 cigars smoked by Bernie.
Okay.
Specifically, because I'm going to add that qualifier because I assume that his like den group of dudes who come over. I was going to look those guys up if they're like comedians or something. But
Yeah,
that they just
I mean,
sit around.
I
They've
saw
gotta
Carlos
be.
Mencia.
Yeah, right. Okay. I thought that's who that was. I couldn't remember
Yeah.
his name. So yeah, 5+ by Bernie.
All right, cool. I'll do mine. I think they drop the arrow / writing. I think that's gone.
Okay.
I don't think it worked. I think they need to get rid of it. That's my note. I hope they listen to me. I think one of the kids is not the same kid. I think they're all three the same characters. I just think one of those kids isn't the original kid.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I also said it was graduation day for one of them. And then I think the kids move back in with Bernie in this one. I think they're like not there anymore, and like something changes and they move back in.
Okay.
And that's my 4.
Cool. I had a similar one to where mine was more specific. I said the middle kid, Jordan, gets recast.
Okay.
Because I think his performance as like a crying, pissing kid just didn't really hit.
I think it was spot on if they were trying to make me hate him.
Yeah, I think he gets recast with a kid who's like really cool or something, like a Bart Simpson,
Urkel.
like a Bart Simpson type.
Like a Stefan Urkel more than a Steven.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
I think Bernie's wife is pregnant. I think that
Ooh.
this experience with the kids that made them decide they want to have their own.
Sure, I believe that.
Is she still VP at AT&T though?
Yeah, probably. I think that there are no cigars shown in this episode.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I like this Joe versus Jimmy battle, cigar battle.
Yeah.
I think the anti-smoking ads had really hit by then.
Yeah, truth.com has become
Yeah.
popular. And I think that somebody enjoys a lobster dinner.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
because
into
like
it.
you're hungry for seafood or what?
I don't know. I've always thought lobster is overrated, but yeah, I think someone enjoys a lobster dinner.
I hope they do because those are delicious. So good for them. All right, so let's watch this final episode of the Bernie Mac Show. That was April 14th, 2006. It was entitled Bernie's Angels.
Oh.
So everyone dies in
Charlie's
this one.
Angels. Do we ever decide if he actually was in Charlie's Angels?
Inconclusive so far. We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
I saw Tom Green and I stopped looking. So all right, cool. Well, we'll see you after the finale of the Bernie Mac Show. And we're back. We're done with the final episode of the Bernie Mac Show, entitled Bernie's Angels, which refers to the children, I assume.
Charlie's Angels.
His littles, Bernie's Angels. Do you have a write-up for this one, Jimmy?
Yeah. Oh, you
Yes.
want it now?
Yeah, I want it now.
This time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is episode 104, Bernie's Angels. In the series finale, after having a near-death experience involving the microwave, Bernie decides to turn his life around and starts being nicer and overly sensitive. Meanwhile, Jordan begins to take advantage of Bernie's new attitude. Vanessa is still working on finding a good college, but she doesn't want Bernie's help. Brianna? Is that how you say it? Baby girl? Has to learn.
Don't know.
Yeah. Thoughts? Brianna? Just
The littlest one.
yeah, they just call her baby girl. Has to learn what belongs in a microwave and what doesn't, since she was the one responsible for Bernie's near-death experience. In the end, Bernie discovers that Jordan has been using him, and he reconciles with Vanessa. In the final scene, Bernie takes back an iPod he bought for Jordan and delivers a farewell message to America. Sort of.
Yep.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I didn't feel like it was that decisive of an ending. Like, okay, bye. But
Yeah, that makes it sound like he knew it was canceled and they like taped on an extra scene, but I don't know that that's true.
yeah,
He just said a thing about like, well, I'm gonna keep raising these kids. See you around.
Yeah.
yeah, which is probably like he said he probably said something along those lines at the end of most episodes, like, "Well, this is what I learned today," you know.
Mm.
Who knows?
Could be.
Quick fun fact: Bernie Mac was in the second Charlie's Angels movies, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, in 2000 in like
Yeah.
something.
So was this title, you think, just straight up play on that?
I mean, maybe
He-
it was. When was that one?
I
That was
remember
in 2003.
Okay, so yeah. He like inexplicably replaces Bill Murray's character in Full Throttle. Have you guys seen these movies?
Yeah, he's Bosley.
Yeah, he's
Bosley,
Bosley,
yeah.
which is Bill Murray.
Okay, so yeah, that's just different Bosley.
Maybe it's like his cousin, Bosley's cousin. Can't remember. Not important.
Maybe. It's so important. So yeah, he just basically, so the littlest one, I mean, this is all Bernie's fault. He hands the little one a plate
Totally.
that has like a burrito wrapped in tinfoil or something and like saran wrap on it, and he's like, "You're big, heat this up yourself." And then she's like, "Cool." She walks to the microwave and just turns it on, because that's what a little kid's gonna do if you like tell him to do something. And then
Yeah, I'm
it's
surprised she
sparking.
didn't just set it on the stove.
Yeah, turn the flame on.
And then he comes and touches the microwave, and he just gets electrocuted by touching the outside of the microwave,
Yeah,
which I don't
by trying
think
to press
is.
stop button.
I don't think that would happen. I guess I don't quite understand everything that happens.
I think
when
that
you put,
was.
like,
I think
tinfoil
it
in
was
there.
movie magic, Josh. I don't think he was. I don't think Bernie Mac was actually electrocuted
That's not actually how he died.
in real
Oh.
time.
Okay, got it. I was confused. I thought that was the leading cause that led into his death.
How
So,
did
yeah,
he
that
die?
happens.
Do we know?
Not sure.
He had a
Figure that.
disease called
He had something.
it was like sarcoidosis. That it's just like it causes like inflammation in random organs, and he had it like in his lungs and heart, and yeah.
Ooh. You need those things. I'm
Yeah,
not a
so it's just
doctor,
like-
but
Yeah. It was just like a rare disease that kind of came on suddenly.
oof.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well,
Yeah.
Definitely. But okay, so then in the show, he goes to the hospital, gets treated, comes back, and then for some reason he's talking all high, like he's like, "I'm okay, everything's fine." I really don't.
Yeah, I'm not
that
sure what
was
the voice was.
okay.
At first I thought he was singing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, "Why is he okay? Whatever."
That's how sensitive people talk, Josh.
Oh yeah, he's sensitive now, so
I
you can tell I'm not sensitive because I talk like this.
Because I talk like this.
But so then basically he takes each one of the three kids then and like tries to like bring them under his wing and like be nice to them.
Yeah, because he had like a like near death situation, so now he's thinking about, well, what's it going to be like when I'm gone? I need to like guide these kids while I'm here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for the youngest one, he is just all he does is tries to teach her safety and tries to teach her what she's not supposed to put in the microwave.
Yeah.
So that was literally 2 scenes, maybe worth 30 seconds total.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that was funny though was in the last one, it was a line of things that she like, of all these things, which one don't you put in? And the answer was a giant ball of tinfoil, but one of them was a goldfish in a bowl,
A live
Yeah.
live animal.
and that one was fine to put in the microwave per Bernie Mac's lesson.
It's a little hot tub for the little goldfish.
Yeah. And then the other one, the middle one, Jordan, he's just using Bernie to essentially just get a new stereo and then an iPod.
Yeah.
He's just Bernie's being nice to him, so then he's getting nice things
'Cause
by pretending he likes Bernie's music.
Yeah, Bernie's trying to teach him about the jazz, which I
Yeah.
feel like is a Bill Cosby thing too.
Yeah.
Just a scene ripped straight out of Cosby Show.
Yeah, and so the kid's like, yeah, I want to keep listening to the jazz in my room, but my speaker's broken, so buy me a new boombox, and he does that.
Yeah.
And then he just like makes
Clever.
fun of him for a minute, which might have been the funniest thing in this whole episode when the kid was pretending to be Bernie. Like gave himself a French tuck, and then was like, I'm Bernie Mac, I'm mean to kids. Ha ha ha. I don't know. And Bernie like heard it and acted like he was like so deeply hurt by that like
Yeah.
15-second comedy routine that the kid did. So he took
Well, because I think he realizes in that moment that he's being taken advantage of too. That he hasn't actually liked all these lessons so far.
If I know anything about probably how Bernie's interacted with these kids throughout these 5 seasons, is he had that coming, and this kid needs to use him even more to like get like,
even. Yeah.
to get even with Bernie Mac. Like that wasn't enough.
I mean, I'm sure they give him hell.
Yeah, probably. And then the oldest one was just trying to write an essay for Stanford, and she's like wants to do it by herself and not but with her own merit. And then Bernie like goes behind her back and like tries to like say like I'm her uncle, I'm Bernie Mac,
Yeah.
because that he has a lot of pull at Stanford, according or something. And so in his like I'm gonna be nice and help them, he was actually just like he didn't even like in that scenario he didn't even listen to her wishes and like just decided he knows best no matter what, and just did whatever he thought was good, no matter like even though she was like don't help me.
Yeah. Bernie just wants to help.
Yeah. So I mean that was basically the whole episode, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a short little like touching moment, which I assume there's a bunch of these then. It's like so I predicted that they're like Wanda wouldn't be around, and that because she just didn't seem very involved with the kids in the pilot. But there's like a moment where she's helping Vanessa and just kind of talking to Vanessa, and she seems like she's actually kind of the voice of reason that maybe the kids come to, or at least Vanessa.
She's probably literally there to like talk Bernie down when he's mad at the kids, and then to like console the kids when Bernie's being a dick to them.
Actually parent.
Yeah, she's the parent, basically. Because even when Bernie was trying to be a parent in this one, he was like not being a very.
He taught the kid how to make a great looking sandwich. I'll tell you that.
It was
Yeah,
a good looking
that
sandwich.
sandwich looked good.
A lot of meat, a lot of mustard.
He also taught that little girl it was okay to put a fish in the microwave, a pet. So that was part of, and just a whole egg. One of them was just a whole egg.
Yikes!
Wouldn't that explode? Would a whole egg explode in the microwave? It
I
would
don't
create
know,
a mess.
maybe.
You put it in long enough. Put anything in a microwave long enough, it's gonna explode. Oh, we blew right past that in like this dream sequence of Bernie's funeral, which is kind of meta thinking watching it now.
Yeah, he died like 3 years later.
This whole episode's how he's like realizes he's got to teach his kids because he might not be around for forever.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh man. Anyway, but like so in the dream sequence, Creed is like the funeral home worker
Creed
guy.
Bratton.
So good. Out of nowhere.
That was fun. I liked the little Creed part. If you microwave a whole egg without poking a hole in the shell, it's likely to explode because the steam builds up fast.
Oh yeah.
Faster than the egg can, quote, exhale it through its pores.
There you go.
Yeah, just poke a hole in it. You're good to go.
Yeah, that's how I like my eggs, microwaved. Just like in the shell.
What? Ew.
You tap a little hole in the top, a little bit, and then you put the shell whole egg, and then when it's cooked, then you just scoop out the cooked egg from the shell.
Yeah.
Ugh, that seems so wrong.
It sounds disgusting.
Why would you do that? Because you want to get rid of the shell, right? Because it's.
No, maybe you eat the shell. Maybe it's like a crunchy outer coat.
As long as you just gotta wash out, you wash the outside of the shell first.
Well, you cook it, right? So doesn't that kill it? Kill the
Yeah,
bacteria?
that kills it. Yeah, that's fine. You don't even need to wash it. Yeah. Washing's for losers.
It's like
This
a
is the whole-
skin on egg.
Oh, gross.
Bernie Mac's patented skin-on egg.
Yeah, you guys always eat your eggs skinless?
Well, yeah, isn't the whole thing like the shell is like just a universe of bacteria, and that's why you need to get rid of that.
It's also where all the nutrients are. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, without the shell, the egg is not only safer to eat but also useless to eat because there's no
empty
nutrients.
calories without the shell. This is our cooking pod now.
The
Cooking and
worst
nutrition.
cooking pod.
Your number one
man.
nutrition TV cooking podcast, first and last.
Yeah. Your number one source.
Yeah. This really wasn't a finale in the sense of like anything really.
Yeah.
It was just they made it a finale in the way it's like Bernie had a near-death experience. He is trying to turn a new leaf, sort of, and prepare the kids better for his passing when it will eventually happen. And then he just kind of was like, I'm going to keep on watching these kids, America. And that was just the end of the show.
Yeah. Except for the one going to Stanford, she'll kind of be on her own.
Yeah, she's eventually she's potentially leaving. Well, I mean, we didn't even know, maybe she doesn't even get in still.
Yeah, I guess
we
that's
didn't
true.
get there.
She's just turning in the essay.
Like, yeah, we're not even to the point where she's not even confirmed leaving, It's just like, well, maybe.
Let's assume.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we watched 2 of these episodes. Who's watching the Bernie Mac show?
Ooh. Joe's looking around.
Someone behind Joe's going to do it.
I would rather watch The Cosby Show. Knowing what I know, I would still rather watch The Cosby Show.
I want to look up some Bernie Mac comedy. I think I just want to hang out with Bernie Mac and not necessarily Bernie Mac in a TV show.
Yeah, I'd watch some Kings of Comedy for sure.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it didn't work for me. It's I think there's just better family sitcoms with kids interacting with even probably other comedians on TV.
Yeah.
But also just other things that are just better. Yeah. There's better shows.
Jordan was just awful.
Yeah,
Like,
still bad. Same kid, still bad.
Maybe worse even. I'm not sure.
Yeah. He's trying to play like a nerdy kid, I guess. And it's like, still bad.
He was trying to overact a nerdy kid.
Yeah.
Is what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's better shows out there. Just don't bother. We did this so you don't have to.
Yeah. I'm going to rewatch Oceans 11, 12, and 13.
I am just...
And Full
Throttle.
Throttle.
If you want to watch something with Bernie Mac in it, watch a Bernie Mac movie. Watch Full Throttle, Charlie's Angels. Watch Ocean's 11. Don't watch the Bernie Mac show. How did this show last 5 seasons?
Apparently the first season, they won an Emmy for Best Comedy.
Man, I feel like
was
they
highly
hand out
rated.
Emmys. I feel like...
I mean, that's how they do it.
Let's see. American ratings, season 1. It seems like their rank. It says views in millions, and I guess I don't know if that's per episode approximately, or if it's it can't be the whole season. Is that season 1 was 9.5 million views? That's got to be in 2000. That's got to. It's got to be an average, right? They peaked in season 2. They were ranked 60th, and they had about 10.04 million views.
Mm-hmm.
But then they fell off pretty hard. Season 3, average of 7.5. Season 4, an average of 4.8. And then season 5, I think I said that wrong, but average of 3.6 million. So they started with a little over 9 million, and they ended with 3.5 million essentially. So.
Mm-hmm.
The formula wasn't working anymore, and it seemed like they didn't really change much, formula-wise, to make the show better than it was.
Supposedly, one random thing says that supposedly they canceled it due to his health.
Oh, so like they might have just stopped the show just to be like, Bernie's sick. We just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it
from
did
an
trail
article
off.
from 2005. Yeah.
Placement of it doesn't help either. Like halfway through season 4, they moved it to Friday nights, which is kind of where shows just go to die.
Man, when I was a kid, I remember loving Friday nights because I felt like, and maybe this is like Nickelodeon kind of thing, or like the ABC.
Yeah,
had
TGIF.
Like, yeah, like that was awesome. Friday night seemed like it was dope.
That's like
So,
Friday, like early afternoon, though, really.
No, there was still like the Friday after dinner shows were on. Like the X-Files were on Friday nights for a long time. Like I would love that. So, yeah, I don't know. Star Trek: The Next Generation was on every night, I think.
Well, it was syndicated.
Yeah. Well,
was
by the time I was
reruns.
watching it, it was reruns, but it's
Probably
still
same
on
with
it.
X-Files.
No, X-Files was on.
Yeah, but I mean, like, syndicated where they're probably showing reruns on Fridays.
They were on Fridays, and then it got switched to Sundays at some point too, I think. So, not sure. We already did the X-Files podcast. Yeah, I'm not. We did it. Let's go into predictions.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Let's put this one to rest. I'll do mine quick because I'm pretty sure I got 0. They had the arrow writing stuff on there. They only did it like twice in the episode, so they brought it down a lot, but they kept it in.
Yeah,
so
they kind of forgot about it. They're like, oh yeah, we should circle some stuff.
Yeah, it was like halfway through the episode, they were like, oh yeah, this is a new boombox that Jordan got. All the kids were the same kids. It was not graduation day for anybody, and the kids still lived with Bernie, so they did not move back in with Bernie. So I got a big old goose egg.
Nice.
0. I had that the middle kid gets recast, and it was the same bad actor kid. Had that Bernie's wife is pregnant, and she's not. No cigars, which I think is true. Yeah?
Yeah.
I did not see a cigar.
I did not. While I was scrolling to this episode, there was like a couple, there's like 2 or 3 episodes in this season talking about how they were trying to conceive, but they couldn't.
Yeah. Well. And then, so yeah, I got a point for no cigars, and then a lobster dinner. There was none. He made steaks that first night, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there was a big old sandwich.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1 point.
1 for Joe. I had it was the last day of school, which it wasn't. I had that Bernie falls in love with kids. Huh? Huh?
I mean, he got like electrocuted into loving kids.
Yeah.
Basically.
Same thing.
I feel like I'll begrudgingly give that to you.
Then I had that Wanda and Bernie are divorced, and lots of cigars, and neither of those things happened.
Yep. So 1 point.
Yeah. I mean, he does love the kids. He says that.
I did some research on what's his guy's name? Jeremy Suarez, the middle kid actor who I didn't like. Just to see if he's done
Where
anything
is he
since
now?
then. Yeah, he's done a few like voice things. But his most recent like movie credit is Angry Video Game Nerd the movie. If you're familiar with the Angry Video Game Nerd, apparently he made a movie.
He did. I haven't seen it. I like the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
I'm mad that he is cohorting with such a shitty child actor.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Maybe he grew
he's-
into himself, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, kid actors are generally not that great anyway. Also, he's told what to do, so it's not all his fault.
Yeah.
Just he's shitty in the term of that he should not do that character ever again. But
Yeah.
I'm sure
He
whatever
was-
he's done.
like in the first episode, we were mad that he was like crying and peeing, and then in the last episode, he wasn't peeing anymore, but he was still crying.
Yeah, and he was like had a weird whiny,
was a
like he
thing.
was making like trying to be like a whiny nerd voice or something. I don't know. It just didn't seem natural for him.
Mm-hmm. He's too
So-
old for that.
He was playing with the hand he was dealt by the director, and I don't know if it was the right move.
Yeah.
I don't know if this show was the right move though. So
Director, by the way, of the two that we watched, the first and the last, is Ken Kwapis, who, if that sounds familiar, he's done a lot of Office episodes and Parks and Rec and Malcolm in the Middle.
Nice.
So
see, it's just proof
Launched
that
his career.
people can do bigger and better things even when they do bad things sometimes.
Yeah. So I might not even pin it on the director. Maybe it is just the actor.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, all right, fine. You suck, actor. Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's not a great show. It's not a great show. It's not as bad as Felicity, but it's not a great show.
Mhm.
Sorry, Claire.
That was a callback.
Oh, I know. Every once in a while, I got to remind everybody that I did not like when we watched Felicity.
I might go back and watch that.
Well, you let me know how
All
that
things
goes
considered.
for you. Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to end this, so we can move on to a different show next week. Thank you for listening, listeners. We appreciate it for traveling through this Bernie-shaped hole that we've been going through for the past hour or so. If you want to hit us up, you can do that on the Twitters or on the Gmail at FNL Podcast. Shoot over some shows that are good for us to watch. And if you are on some sort of podcast app, rate us 5 stars. It helps with discoverability. That is a key word right there for you. So, but we'll see you next week on another First and Last. Goodbye.
Oh, it says 1995. It must be a movie. Or something else.